Reaching the age of 70 feels like crossing an unexpected finish line, a milestone I never thought I'd approach so quickly. It's strange how time sneaks up on you. One day you're in your 20s, brimming with ambition and boundless energy, and the next, you wake up in a body that tells its own stories of wear and tear, with memories stretching back over half a century. As life evolves, so do our priorities, and I've come to notice an unexpected change in myself. I've started pulling away from people. This isn't who I used to be. I once thrived in the company of others, friends, family, neighbors, and even strangers. I attended every gathering, contributed tirelessly to my community, and was the go-to person for anyone in need. But as the years passed, something shifted. At first, I thought it was just a quirk of aging, a fleeting phase. Yet now, I'm beginning to wonder if this is a natural transition many of us face, but rarely talk about. Why does this happen? Why do we grow more selective, perhaps even withdrawn, as the decades go by? Stick around as I unravel these thoughts and share what I've learned on this journey. If this resonates with you, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe for more insights, and hit that notification bell to stay connected. 1. Time feels more precious than ever. At 70, I find myself with a profound new perspective on time. It's no longer just the steady tick of the clock or the simple flip of a calendar page. It's an ever-present reminder of life's finiteness, a reality I once ignored. In my younger years, time felt like an infinite ocean, vast and unending. I spent it carelessly on trivial conversations, fleeting relationships, and activities that neither fulfilled me nor brought lasting joy. Back then, it was easy to assume there would always be more time. But now, I know better. Every moment feels like a rare treasure, something to hold close and not waste. Time has transformed from a measurement into a companion, sometimes gentle and reassuring, other times starkly honest, urging me to cherish what remains. I feel it in the golden mornings as I sip my coffee, the rising sun painting the sky with colors too beautiful to ignore. I sense it during my afternoon walks, with leaves crunching beneath my feet, a symphony of nature reminding me to appreciate the strength still within me. And in the quiet evenings, nestled in my favorite chair, I relive memories of a life richly lived, grateful for every twist and turn. Once, I believed the fullness of life came from doing more, being constantly surrounded by people, racing to achieve as much as possible. But I've learned that fulfillment doesn't come from quantity. It lies in quality. Now I choose with care where to spend my time and who to share it with. A heartfelt conversation with a kindred spirit means far more to me than a room full of unfamiliar faces. Time, I've realized, is irreplaceable, and I've become fiercely protective of it. Youth tricks us into thinking there's always a tomorrow to make amends, rekindle relationships, or chase dreams. But aging brings clarity. Tomorrows are finite, and every day is a gift. This understanding hasn't filled me with sadness. It's empowered me. I've let go of shallow obligations, meaningless drama, and empty conversations. Instead, I've devoted myself to what truly matters, nurturing my health, pursuing my passions, and embracing the people who light up my world. This shift has brought an unexpected peace. I no longer feel the need to justify my choices, whether it's prioritizing solitude or saying no to things that don't align with my values. My relationships have grown deeper, my days more meaningful. I've learned to let go of regrets, grudges, and the constant urge to do it all. Slowing down has allowed me to savor life's simplest joys, a familiar melody, a gentle breeze, a genuine laugh. Time now feels richer, not because I fear its end, but because I finally understand its value. At 70, I'm not chasing time anymore. I'm embracing it. And in doing so, I've found a contentment I never knew existed. 2. Relationships change, and so do we. As the years unfold, relationships evolve in ways you might never predict. Some grow stronger, enriched by shared experiences and deepened understanding, becoming a cornerstone of your life. Others, however, quietly drift away, much like a book you once cherished, but have since set aside. Now, at 70, I've come to embrace the idea that not every relationship is meant to endure forever, and that's perfectly okay. The wisdom I've gained lies in appreciating the people who remain, those who stand by you through life's twists and turns. These are often the ones who truly matter. In my younger years, relationships were the heartbeat of my existence. I surrounded myself with a vibrant tapestry of friends, colleagues, and neighbors, always striving to keep connections alive. I was the one who remembered every birthday, attended every gathering, and worked tirelessly to make others happy. Yet as time passed, I realized the toll it took to sustain relationships that didn't always reciprocate the same care and effort. Life, as it turns out, has its own way of pruning the branches of your social tree. People relocate, grow, be, or change in ways that make staying connected increasingly difficult. Some relationships end with tears, while others dissolve gently with the passing of time. In the past, I often questioned myself, wondering if I could have done more to preserve those bonds. Now I see things differently. Life is a journey, and each person crosses our path for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Learning to distinguish between these has brought me a profound sense of peace. And it's not just others who change. We do too. I'm no longer the same person I was at 40 or even 60. My priorities have shifted. I now cherish simplicity, kindness, and authenticity more than ever. The patience I once had for drama or one-sided relationships has faded. I used to believe that always being there for everyone defined me as a good friend or family member. But I've come to realize that true relationships are mutual. They replenish your spirit rather than drain it. Some of the most valuable lessons I've learned about relationships have been forged through heartache. Trust broken by those I held dear, loyalty that wasn't returned, or kindness taken for granted. These experiences left their mark. Yet they also taught me to set boundaries, recognize warning signs, and most importantly, honor my own well-being. Today, I choose to invest my energy in people who uplift me, not in those who weigh me down. Even with this newfound clarity, there are moments when nostalgia creeps in. I think of friends who once felt like family, but are now distant, or relatives whose lives have taken divergent paths. These memories are tinged with both sweetness and sadness. But instead of dwelling on what was lost, I've learned to celebrate these relationships for what they were. Beautiful, fleeting moments that shaped the person I've become. 3. Trust becomes more complicated. As you grow older, the fragile nature of trust becomes increasingly evident. In my younger days, I extended trust freely, believing wholeheartedly in the goodness of people and their intentions. Life, however, has a way of teaching lessons through experience. Along the way, I encountered betrayals that reshaped how I view the world, leaving me more cautious and guarded. At 70, I approach trust with a discerning eye, choosing carefully whom I allow into my inner circle. This shift doesn't come from bitterness or anger. It's rooted in wisdom gained through hardship. I've faced disappointments that I never anticipated, moments when trust was shattered by those I thought would never let me down. A friend who seemed genuine, but valued what I could offer more than who I was. A business partner who prioritized personal gain over shared dreams. And even family members whose unexplained distance left me questioning what went wrong. All these experiences tested my ability to trust. With each hurt, I was presented with a choice: to close myself off entirely, or to approach new relationships with a balance of openness and caution. I chose the latter, though this path comes with its own complexities. When someone new enters my life, my initial reaction is no longer excitement or curiosity, but hesitation. I find myself questioning their motives, wondering what they might want, or why they've chosen to connect with me. It's a mindset I don't particularly enjoy, but it feels necessary. Yet amidst this wariness, I've also come to realize that trust isn't solely about others. It's about trusting myself, my instincts, my judgment, and my ability to protect my well-being. Learning to trust yourself is empowering. It means recognizing when something feels off, walking away from toxic relationships, no matter how long they've been part of your life, and understanding that it's okay to protect your heart, even if it means maintaining some distance. This self-trust has become a cornerstone of my relationships, helping me navigate the complexities of human connection with greater clarity. Even so, trust remains a delicate balance. In recent years, I've encountered moments that restore my faith in humanity. A kind stranger lending a hand when I stumbled, a thoughtful neighbor checking in during a storm. These small but profound acts remind me that trust, while harder to give now, is still worth extending when the right people come along. I've learned that building walls too high to climb isn't the answer. Instead, it's about creating gates that are sturdy enough to guard against harm, but flexible enough to welcome in love, kindness, and genuine connection when the time feels right. Trust has become both simpler and more complex in its essence. At this stage in life, I cherish the relationships that have stood the test of time and hold dear the few people I trust without reservation. With those who haven't earned my trust, I maintain firm boundaries. And while I no longer trust as easily or as freely as I once did, I find myself valuing the connections I do have far more deeply. At 70, that depth of connection feels like a treasure, a gift worth holding close. For the world feels different now. At 70, the world I see around me feels profoundly different from the one I grew up in. It's not just the relentless pace of life that has shifted, it's the very essence of how we connect with one another. I often find myself reflecting on the warmth and simplicity that once defined human relationships and wondering where it has gone. In my youth, neighbors were more than just people living next door. They were like extended family. We knew each other by name, dropped by unannounced for coffee, and offered help before it was even requested. Families gathered frequently, not out of obligation, but from a deep sense of love and joy. Relationships had a natural ease to them, a comforting sense of belonging that didn't require constant maintenance. The connections we shared were genuine, grounded, and profoundly fulfilling. Now, it feels as if everyone is caught up in an endless race, chasing success, recognition, or simply trying to keep up with the unrelenting demands of modern life. Visits that once happened spontaneously are now rare, planned months in advance if they happen at all. Conversations often feel hurried, as though we're all competing with an invisible timer. Even within families, bonds sometimes seem stretched thin, strained by physical distance and the emotional gaps created by busy schedules and competing priorities. Technology, for all its conveniences, has undeniably contributed to this transformation. Don't get me wrong, I'm deeply grateful for the ability to video call my grandchildren or reconnect with old friends through social media. But there's something irreplaceable about being physically present with someone, hearing the subtle inflections in their voice, seeing the expressions that words alone can't convey, and feeling the warmth of their presence. In a world dominated by screens, the intimacy of these moments has become a rarity. The constant hum of notifications, endless news updates, and the infinite scroll of information can sometimes feel overwhelming. It's as though the world has become noisier and yet, paradoxically, lonelier. There are days when I long to disconnect from it all, to turn off my devices, retreat into the quiet solace of my own thoughts, and rediscover the clarity that comes with stillness. Then there's the question of values. The priorities I see in today's world often feel foreign to the ones I was raised to cherish. Honesty, kindness, and a sense of community were once cornerstones of life, woven into the fabric of everyday existence. While these values haven't disappeared entirely, they feel harder to find, drowned out by the relentless push for self-promotion and endless competition. I often find myself longing for the simplicity of the past, not because I'm resistant to change, but because I miss the depth of genuine human connection. Back then, relationships felt more grounded, less transactional. People weren't perpetually distracted, and there was an unspoken understanding that time spent together was sacred. Still, I know that nostalgia has a way of softening the edges of the past, painting it in hues warmer than reality. Life was never perfect, and every generation has faced its own unique challenges. Yet as the world rushes forward, I found myself stepping back, not out of bitterness, but out of a desire to hold on to what still feels real and meaningful. In this fast-changing world, the connections that remain true are treasures worth preserving, and the quieter moments of reflection are gifts I've learned to embrace. 5. Solitude isn't loneliness. When I was younger, I used to believe that being alone meant being lonely. The thought of spending an evening in my own company felt daunting, almost unbearable, as if solitude was something to escape at all costs. But now, at 70, I've come to see solitude in a new light, not as a burden, but as a gift. Solitude isn't a void to be filled. It's a space to be savored. There's a profound difference between being lonely and being alone. Loneliness carries an ache, a longing for connection that feels just out of reach. Solitude, on the other hand, is a kind of fullness, a quiet, enriching contentment in your own presence. Some of my most peaceful and joyful moments now come from simply being still. There's a unique magic in letting the world fall silent, allowing the rush of life to fade into the background. In these moments, I've rediscovered the beauty of simplicity, sitting by the window with a warm cup of tea, watching the birds dance at the feeder, feeling the soft warmth of the sun on my skin during a morning walk, or hearing the comforting crackle of a fire on a chilly evening. All these little moments bring me a sense of calm that no crowded room or lively gathering ever could. Solitude has also become a sanctuary for reflection. As the years pass, memories grow into both a comfort and a teacher. I often find myself revisiting the chapters of my life, not with regret, but with gratitude for the experiences that shaped me. In the quiet, I've found the clarity to make peace with the questions and struggles I once carried. Solitude offers a kind of healing that's difficult to find in the chaos of the outside world. This isn't to say I've withdrawn from life completely. I still treasure the time spent with loved ones, the spark in my grandchildren's eyes when they visit, the laughter shared with old friends, or the satisfaction of contributing to causes I care deeply about. These connections feel even more profound now because they are a choice, not an obligation. I no longer feel the need to say yes to every event or maintain relationships that leave me feeling drained. Solitude has taught me the value of being intentional with my time and energy. When I do choose to spend time with others, I'm fully present. There's no rush, no need to check my watch or juggle distractions. I savor the moments, knowing that time together is precious. Even brief encounters carry a sense of purpose and joy, made richer by the stillness I return to afterward. Most importantly, solitude has taught me to love myself in ways I never imagined. It has shown me that my worth isn't measured by how many people fill my life or how packed my calendar is. It's in the quiet moments, away from the noise and expectations, that I've discovered I'm enough, just as I am. At 70, I've learned that solitude is not a symbol of loneliness, but a sign of strength. It's a deliberate choice to step back, protect your peace, and focus on what truly matters. In choosing solitude, I've uncovered a happiness that feels deeper and more enduring than I ever thought possible. It's in these quiet spaces that I've found my truest self, and for that, I am profoundly grateful. 6. Why do I avoid people now? At this stage of my journey, distancing myself from people is not a reflection of bitterness or resentment. It's a deliberate choice for peace. After 7 decades of giving, learning, and enduring heartache, I've come to realize that not every relationship is meant to last, and not every bond is worth the energy it takes to sustain. This understanding is both liberating and poignant, a hard-earned wisdom born not from despair, but necessity. For most of my life, I prioritized others. I freely gave my time, energy, and heart, often expecting little in return. I thrived on being dependable, someone people could rely on. It felt right for a long time, helping others, being needed, and showing up. But life eventually taught me where my boundaries needed to be. Even if it took decades, I've faced disappointment from trusted friends, pain from loved ones, and exhaustion from relationships that drained more than they replenished. There were moments when I ignored obvious warning signs, choosing instead to focus on the good in others. At times, I clung to situations that eroded my happiness, believing loyalty demanded such sacrifice. Now, at 70, I see things differently. Avoiding certain people doesn't mean I've lost faith in humanity. It means I've chosen to protect my well-being. I no longer feel compelled to maintain toxic connections or engage in dynamics that leave me feeling empty. The noise of superficial social expectations has been replaced by the serenity of meaningful solitude, and in this quiet, I've discovered an unparalleled sense of peace. I avoid those who thrive on drama, those who make everything about themselves, and those who never seem to care how I'm doing. I steer clear of individuals who take my kindness for granted, assuming it has no limits. Most importantly, I avoid any situation that diminishes my sense of self. This doesn't mean I've shut people out entirely. I still treasure the relationships that truly matter. The friends and family who have weathered life's storms with me, who show up not out of need, but out of genuine care. These connections are precious, and I nurture them with all the love I have left to give. In narrowing my circle, I've found greater depth in my interactions. When I spend time with others now, it's because I genuinely want to, not because I feel obligated. The conversations are richer, the moments more profound because they are chosen, not forced. By avoiding the unnecessary, I've come to cherish what truly matters. 7. Does this sound familiar? Often wonder if others in my generation share these feelings. Is it just me, or does time naturally make us more discerning? Do the disappointments and betrayals of life inevitably lead us all to guard our hearts more fiercely, to place our peace above all else? Reflecting on my younger years, I see how much of that time was spent chasing approval, trying to be everything to everyone. I wanted to be the dependable friend, the reliable partner, the unwavering family member. But over time, I realized how draining it was, leaving so little of myself behind. Now I've let go of the guilt that once came with protecting my time and energy. I no longer apologize for choosing solitude over endless social obligations, or for carving out moments of stillness to simply breathe and reflect. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, perhaps you've also found yourself making similar choices, distancing yourself from relationships that no longer uplift you, or situations that feel more taxing than fulfilling. Perhaps you've discovered the beauty in valuing quality over quantity when it comes to the people in your life. This shift isn't always easy. Sometimes it feels like letting go of pieces of who you once were. But this stage of life isn't about clinging to outdated roles. It's about releasing what no longer aligns with who you've become. It's about making room for peace, joy, and the moments that truly matter. If this resonates with you, know that you're not alone. There's no universal guide for navigating this chapter of life. No one-size-fits-all approach. For some, thriving in bustling social circles brings happiness, and that's wonderful. But for others, like me, finding solace in solitude and depth in a few meaningful connections feels just as fulfilling. At 70, I've learned to embrace the art of letting go of expectations, relationships, and obligations that no longer serve me. I've discovered that prioritizing my well-being isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's a profound freedom to live unapologetically, to choose a path that honors your own needs and desires. So if you find yourself retreating from the noise of the world or seeking more moments of quiet, don't see it as a loss. See it as a gain, a gift to design a life that feels authentic to you, no matter how unconventional it might appear. Here's to this chapter of life, one filled with reflection, growth, and the courage to live on your own terms. May we all find the peace we truly deserve. 8. Embracing this chapter. At 70, I no longer see life as a series of conclusions, but as a collection of beginnings. Each chapter unfolds with its own lessons, challenges, and quiet beauty, and this stage is no exception. In its simplicity and depth, this period feels like a time of culmination, a moment to fully embrace who I am while releasing the weight of what no longer serves me. In youth, life often feels like a race. There's a constant push to achieve, to prove, to become. Restlessness propels us forward, fueled by the belief that the future holds infinite possibilities. But as the years pass, that urgency softens. The focus shifts from chasing distant dreams to appreciating the beauty of the present. This chapter isn't about surrendering ambitions. It's about reframing them. It's about finding joy in life's quieter moments. The soft glow of morning sunlight, the laughter of a grandchild, the comforting embrace of someone you love. These fleeting moments ground me and remind me of what truly matters. Reflection plays a powerful role at this stage. Looking back on my life, I don't dwell on regrets, but instead celebrate gratitude. for the victories that brought pride, the mistakes that built resilience, and the heartaches that shaped me in ways I never expected. Every moment, whether triumphant or painful, has been a thread in the fabric of my life. Yet this chapter isn't just about reminiscing. It's also about looking ahead with quiet anticipation, knowing there's still time to grow, to create, and to savor life's possibilities. One of the most liberating aspects of this stage is the freedom it offers. The freedom to let go of expectations imposed by others or even by myself. There's no longer a need to prove anything or to meet arbitrary benchmarks of success. I've learned that simply being is more than enough. This newfound freedom also means confidently saying no to draining obligations, to relationships that no longer nourish me, and to the pressure of trying to be everything for everyone. By setting these boundaries, I've made room for what truly matters: peace, love, and meaningful connections. Aging has brought with it a unique kind of courage, a willingness to live authentically and unapologetically. I've let go of the fear of judgment and embraced the right to prioritize my well-being. At this point in my life, I speak my truth without hesitation, and I live each day on my own terms. Gratitude, too, is at the heart of this chapter. I'm grateful for the journey I've traveled, the people who have enriched my life, and the memories that linger warmly in my heart. I find gratitude in the strength that has carried me through challenges and in the joy that has illuminated brighter days. Most of all, I am thankful for the gift of still being here, with more life to live and more lessons to learn. To embrace this chapter is to strike a delicate balance, accepting the past without clinging to it, greeting the present with open arms, and looking to the future with quiet hope. It means finding beauty in the ordinary, cherishing the connections that bring joy, and releasing anything that disrupts my peace. There are moments of loneliness, of missing places and people that were once integral to my life. But even in those moments, I find strength, a quiet reminder of how far I've come and how much I carry within me. This chapter, though different, feels profoundly authentic. It's not about limitations. It's about possibilities. It's about celebrating the life I've lived while welcoming what lies ahead. And most importantly, it's about living fully, deeply, and unapologetically, savoring each day as it comes, one moment at a time. Closing thoughts. At 70, I've come to understand that life isn't about how much we accomplish or possess, but about the depth of what we hold dear, the cherished moments, meaningful connections, and the peace that resides within us. I've found joy in simplicity, strength in solitude, and fulfillment in focusing on what truly matters. Choosing to distance myself from unnecessary chaos isn't about resentment. It's about safeguarding the tranquility I've worked so hard to attain. If you're on a similar journey, know that it's perfectly okay to prioritize what feels right for you. This stage of life is ours to embrace in whatever way brings the greatest contentment. It's about authenticity, about savoring the richness of each moment we're given, and about honoring the lessons we've learned along the way. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect. What's one lesson you've learned that you're ready to apply in your own life? Let's support each other on this shared path toward living more fully and authentically. If this message resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments. If it doesn't, feel free to let us know too. Your feedback is invaluable. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Thank you for being part of this journey. Here's to living life unapologetically, on your own terms, and cherishing every moment along the way.